everyone. Welcome back to the last day of International Virtual Course Combinatory Perspective 2022. It is an honor for me to see you in the last session for this program. I'm Nuning Nuraini, will be the moderator for this session. Today, we will have special speaker. She is Dr. Nuning Nuraini from ITB. Hello, Dr. Nuning. How are you?
Hello, Dian. Thank you.
Yeah, Bu. Sorry. If yesterday we saw network in market basket, today Dr. Nuning will give different insight in network application, but for spreading disease. The title is Network Application from an Infectious Disease Modeling Perspective. The time allocation of today's lecture is different from yesterday. Dr. Nuning have 50 minutes for presentation and 10 minutes for Q&A session. You may ask questions during the course. Please write down the question in the chat box. All right. Before starting the lecture, let me show short CV from Dr. Nuning. Okay. Dr. Nuning Nuraini is an associate professor, Institut Teknologi Bandung. The area research are mathematical epidemiology, dynamical system optimization method, numerical analysis, and infectious disease modeling. She's experienced in teaching and research for more than 10 years, serving as an associate professor at ITB in conducting research. She is proficient in creating strong research collaboration in the field of biomathematics, especially in mathematical epidemiology like dengue, malaria, and also COVID-19. She's actively building connection with academia, stakeholders, and policymakers. By now, she serves as a head of undergraduate study program in mathematics ITB, as well as the president of the Indonesian Biomathematical Society, a community with the cutting-edge vision to improve research and scientific progress in this field. For education, she received bachelor, master, and doctoral program in mathematics ITB. This selected publication, and for more info, you can contact her by email in nuning@itb.ic.id. Okay. All right, Dr. Nuning, are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, without further ado, Dr. Nuning, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dian. I will share my screen. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you for the nice introductions. Good afternoon, everyone. Now we have the last talk of this lecture series on international virtual course from a combinatorial perspective. I hope you still have a good vibe to finish your last lectures, because this is the last talk. I make it simple, fast, and furious. Fast and I hope it will be finished less than an hour. So keep in touch with me, and you are free to stop me anytime. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand or you can type your question in a chat room. And my talk will deliver a little part of network application from an infectious disease modeling perspective. I should say this because English is not my mother tongue, so apologize me if you heard some weird pronunciations or typo in my slide. Okay, I will organize my talk into 4 sections. We have introductions, of course, and then we have some special case in the regarding network application in the area of infectious disease modeling. So let's go to the introductions. In the 20th century, mathematical epidemiology exploded following the introductions of compartmental models. These models subdivide people into groups based on their disease status. I mean, in this example, you have an individual is either susceptible, infected, or recovered. Mathematically, we can keep on track how many individuals are in each groups as a disease spread through the populations. For example, suppose one case of disease is introduced into a healthy population that is susceptible, and then our virgin population, and then we have this one, the red dot should be infected populations. That case may infect one or more susceptible people who will then move from the susceptible group to the infected group, and then they soon may infect some more susceptible people. Infected people will eventually recover from this group, so move from the infected group to the recover group. We can follow this work like this. This is the natures of compartmental models among populations. And one question you can answer mathematically is whether an outbreak of one or a few cases will lead to a large epidemic. This is going to depend on the rate at which individuals are becoming infected compared to the rate at which they are leaving the infected group by recovering or dying. Suppose we have susceptible, and then we have infections rate from susceptible to infected compartment. Then from infected compartment, we have some people recovered or dying from, for example, depend on the virulence or pathogens. And we can calculate the ratio of those rates, and this ratio called the reproductive ratio of the disease, or basic reproduction number. It tells us how quickly the disease is reproducing itself in the populations. If the ratio is greater than 1, that means that individuals are becoming infected faster than they are recovering or dying. Thus, the infected group will continue to grow, the size leading to an epidemic. The higher the reproductive ratio, the harder it is to control the disease. And if instead the ratio is less than 1, the new infections are occurring more slowly than the death and the recovery, and thus the outbreak is predicted to fizzle out before infecting many people. So I take SARS as an example. Shortly after SARS spread out of China, some of the best mathematical epidemiologists used data from outbreaks in Singapore and Hong Kong to estimate the reproductive ratio of SARS. They estimated to be somewhere between 2 and 4, let's say 2.2 up to 3.7. Another way to think about the reproductive ratio is as the number of secondary infections caused by the single infected person. For SARS, then a typical infected person is expected to infect between 2 and 4 other people. The generation time is the time between an individual becoming infected and the same individual infecting others. We estimate that the average time between infections for SARS is roughly 10 days. It's kind of similar with COVID-19 that will be rate 12 up to 14 days. So recall that the SARS spread in China for 4 months before the rest of the world was aware of it, and before China implements strong intervention effort. During those 4 months, let's say 120 days, the disease was therefore able to spread relatively unhindered. Let's use the reproductive ratio to predict how much cases there should have been in China after 4 months. The first case would have produced between 2 and 4, let's say 2, like this pattern. And then during the first 10 days, each of those cases will have done the same and so on, like this. At 120 days, a simple mathematical calculation tells us that there should have been between, this much. There should have been between 30,000 up to 10 million cases of SARS in China. Then reported cases, official reported cases from China at that time, just only 782 cases. So we also experienced the same, more or less the same occasion in a COVID-19 transmissions. The R number represents the average number of people an infected person goes to infect. Then the target for control strategies, including lockdown, self-isolations, and mask wearing, is to bring these parameters below 1 and thereby reduce the number of people with the disease. Different pathogens will have different ways in which they spread, and we need some parameters. We use K, the statistician use K, the so-called dispersion parameters, to describe how variable the infections can be. For some diseases, the variation will not be large, as shown in this slide. And this is the reason why scientists are looking into the role of variability in controlling coronavirus transmission. That is, super spreading events are critical in the late stages of the epidemic, when the virus is almost eradicated. Small values of K mean that one infected person can trigger many new cases in a very short time. If this happens, the epidemic can quickly rebound, even if locally eradicated. And unfortunately, when we try to calculate the K number for 2 cities in Indonesia, Jakarta, Depok, and also Batam, we found that the K number are very low. It means since the beginning of epidemic, we have super spreader cases in our country. We use the data in the early 2020 to calculate the K number. If you are interested with this detail of this work, you can find more about this in the article that published in a scientific report. You can contact me and I will give you the file, or you can download in the scientific reports. And so what's wrong with these estimates of the reproductive ratio of SARS and also COVID perhaps? They are based on data from hospital or some area, apartment buildings, where people have unusually high rates of contact with each other. There were probably much less dense conditions in rural, for example, in China, where SARS initially spread, and also when COVID-19 initially spread. The reproductive ratio, the number of secondary infections, depends on how many susceptible people an infected persons contact. The same disease will have a higher reproductive ratio in crowded settings than it will in uncrowded setting. Yeah, why? Because the spread of infectious disease depends on the activity patterns of individual people. Some individuals will be more at risk because of their work environment, like this, hospitals or military camp, for example, and mode of transportations. You know, we have a dense populations, massive transportations, public transportations, school environments, for example, or choice of recreational activities like this. Others will be less vulnerable because of their daily activities, or perhaps because there aren't a whole lot of other folks around. So what's missing in the traditional models? I mean, from the compartmental model of view. The traditional ignore this heterogeneity. They assume that all susceptible individuals are equally likely to encounter an infected individuals. And all infected individuals are equally likely to encounter a susceptible individual and transmit disease. It is normal if we use a compartmental model. We should assume a homogeneous populations if we divide susceptible, infected, and recover. We didn't recognize the behavior of the people. So this bring us finally to networks. There is a new approach to modeling spread of infectious diseases that explicitly considers variation in behavior. This figure illustrates the approach. Instead of lumping people into one big group, like homogeneous situations, we allow them each to have different patterns of contact. Suppose we have these illustrations. For example, suppose that the blue circles are susceptible, the pink or magenta is infected individual, and the yellow one is for recovered. And the lines represents contacts that may or may not lead to disease transmissions. We see that two susceptible individuals, I mean, the blue, the pink, and also the yellow, can have a very different risk of disease transmissions. Before we continue with the type of the disease transmission in the network applications, we start with the terminology. We call the circles in the network nodes. They represent people or places that can become infected. The lines are called edges, and they represent contact between people that can lead to the disease transmissions. And the degree of a node is the number of edges coming out of it. In other words, the number of contacts an individual has. So, for example, these individuals has a degree equal to 1. This individual has degree equal to 3. This one has a degree of 2. And the last one is a potential super spreader with 6 contacts. And this is the basic concept. What is a network? A pair, set of nodes, set of edges can be represented with the adjacency matrix. I think you are already familiar with all those things in the last 2 weeks. And what does it represents? Anything that involves actors and actor-actor interactions. Nodes can be denoted as individuals, groups, households, city, locations, and so on. Edges can be transmissions, friendships, flight routes, and so forth. And then we have some properties. Propensity of epidemiologically similar nodes to be neighbors of each others. A simple example is degree correlations. So we have a degree distributions, degree correlation, clustering, modularity, betweenness, centrality, depend on our needs. And how about the constructing a network? You can choose one or more for these 4 steps, but I can stop in the step 1. Just draw one direct measurement using a direct graph, or we can update it to deterministic algorithms, or if we deal with the more complex situations, we can use stochastic algorithms using Erdős-Rényi random graph, configuration model, preferential attachment model, Barabasi, scale-free, small word network, yeah. And also you can update it into a random graph, that is a family of graphs specified random algorithms, certain probability, and also random variables. And epidemic on a network should be labeled as age of nodes. For example, in epidemics, labels vary over time. For example, for susceptible, infected, recovery, we have different situations for different status of the nodes. And if you run a stochastic epidemic on random graphs, results are random because of the epidemic process and of the graph itself. So usually one thinks the final size of an epidemic should be depend on the network that we choose if we want to execute the algorithm of these situations. And there are two basic ingredients to predicting the spread of disease on a network. The first, tell us something about the structures of the network itself. The degree distributions is the frequency of each degree in the populations. Here is the network we considered earlier, this one. Recall that the degree of a node is the number of edges coming out of the node as indicated next to each node. So, for example, like this. And we can calculate the frequency. For example, you can search degree 1. We have 3/30. That should be 0.1. The degree 2, we can find 7/30 should be 0.23. And you can calculate the rest with the same methods. And the second ingredients tells us use something about the contagiousness of the disease. That is transmissibility. Transmissibility is the probability that an infected individual will transmit the disease to another individual on the opposite side of an age. The probability of transmissions along an age may vary from one age to the next, depending on the age or health of the individuals or the nature of their contacts with each other. Shortly, the behavior for each nodes. So, in example, we have this kind of situations denoted by the gray bold line. And how about the predicting epidemic? Based on those two ingredients, we can mathematically predict a number of important epidemiological quantities. For example, epidemic threshold is how contagious a pathogen must be to cause a large-scale epidemic. And then the size of small outbreak, what is the threshold, probability of large-scale epidemic, and also size of large-scale epidemic should in one occur. And also, we can also predict which demographic groups or individuals are most likely to become infected. We can determine how different starting conditions and how many people and who exactly is in the initial outbreaks impacts the rate of outbreaks. And we can also calculate how the structures of the network will change as the disease spread through it during an epidemic. And as a simple example, we develop a transmission model using cities among countries as a nodes and the relations between them as the adjacency matrix that represents the relations using flight connections among those cities. This is the result of COVID-19 imported cases from mathematical modeling groups. It works by 4 students. You can see the names here in the early of 2020. And the motivation is how can we predict where COVID-19 will strike next helps countries response. So what is the important things? If we can give any information regarding this. So countries will have a baseline for planning their COVID-19 response in the future. For example, quarantines, apply travel restrictions, public health awareness, and so on and so forth. Then the problem statement, we have 4 epicenters from China, Wuhan, Guangzhou, Shanghai, and Beijing, and how the spread of COVID-19 from 4 epicenters in China to 41 high-risk countries. Our current understanding at that time, in the beginning of 2020, infected populations, we have the data of infected population in 4 source of countries, cities, and also the number of passengers, direct international flights from each epicenter city in China to 41 other countries. And the problem statement, once the outbreak starts spreading, which countries will have imported COVID-19 cases and in what order? And we have 6 assumptions to simplify the real-world situations: infected definition, independent spread, international travel, direct air travel only, outward spread, and also fixed source. This is a very simple model with and we only have 6 assumptions, but I think it's quite good enough to make an order of the result. And we calculate the probability of case being imported to a country by using 3 data points. The first is number of passengers traveling from each of 4 epicenter in China to the rest of the world and to each 41 countries. And the second, the populations of Shanghai, Beijing, Wuhan, and also Guangzhou. And the last, the number of infected people in each regions of 4 epicenter cities to determine the day-to-day increasing ratio. And we want to calculate the probability of case being imported to a country. This is our first model algorithms. We just use a data-driven modeling with the limited data and also the very strict assumptions. We have an adjacency matrix to calculate the predictions of the imported cases. And this is the algorithm for the second model. We include a probability calculations. We use time series and also generate random parameters. And this is the result. A comparison of accumulated imported cases in each model. The blue one is the result for model 1, and the orange is the result for model 2. The countries infected will be nicely covered by the second model, 100%. But in the first model, we only have 46% of coverage countries. And as I mentioned in the previous, this is a very simple modeling. So there are a lot of weakness, and also the low of accuracy. But I think you can see the comparison of these animations. The gray one is for the real case, and the blue-green is the models. At last we have the same situations, but it's different from the transmissions rate and also the sequential days of the transmissions. And we have the order of first imported cases within 42 days according to model 1. Indonesia have 22 days, so the data we have the data until last day of January 2020. So this one related with the first day in February. So we have 22 February, although our official governments released the first case in Indonesia for COVID-19 in the 1st of March, but some data in Jakarta show that in February, they already found some patients with COVID-19 symptoms. So I think this kind of a good result with a very simple modeling. And for the second model, we have more forward days for Indonesia in the 13th of February. We already found the cases. And I think this result is more or less the same as the previous result from Harvard, for example, from another scientist. And yeah, our models were partially successful in answering our questions and were able to predict which countries will be hit by COVID-19 with a very simple graph approximations. And we move to the second cases, numbers. This is television's series. So American crime drama television series that was broadcast in 2005 until 2010. And the series is about FBI special agent Don Apes and his brother. This is the keyword. His brother, a colleague mathematics professor and prodigy who helps Don solve crimes for the FBI. And the insight provided by Charlie's mathematics were always in some way crucial to solving the crime. So I choose the model for season 1, episode 3. Here you can see some screenshot from the movie series. And the clue for our model in the first session and the episode 3, the title Factors, a deadly strain of influenza is spreading through Los Angeles, killing many people, and Don investigates whether the strain was released deliberately, and Charlie tries to calculate the origins and likely spread of the virus. So they give us hint using SIR model and also some kind of node and edges to see the graph things. So we define our questions. How does the virus spread in the city of Los Angeles from the graph point of view? So first, we get the data from the movie screenshot. I think this. There are 48 points to consider in the city map, and we place those of the points in the real map by Google Map, and then we place the number for each nodes depend on the chronological things from the series, and then we put it on the grid, and we calculate using distance methods. We compare two kind of the result. The left one, if the distance less or equal to 10 grids or nearly 4 kilometers, and the right one, if the distance is less than equal to 18 grid or nearly 7 kilometers. You can see if we cover more large area, then the graph, the result is more complex graph. And we also run using random networks in the left one and versus scale-free network, kind of similar process. And unfortunately, I can show you the animations of the graph because of I have no time to capture the picture-to-pictures animations. So that's from the numbers result. Then we move to epidemic forest. This collaboration done by Kamal and Maria. Maria is in here, and also I think perhaps Kamal also here, and our colleague from Philippines. I know some of you comes from Philippines, Mr. Gerald. And this is a spatial dynamics of dengue using epidemics forests. And this is the regions of interest. We have Kota Batu, northern and southern part of Kota Batu, North Kota Batu. We choose these two regions since they provide the data like fully minimal missing data, and regions of North Kota Batu comprise of both rural and urban areas, which respectively made up by 18 municipalities from North Kota Batu and 12 municipalities for South Kota Batu. So they provide us a complete clinical data of dengue records in those two mentioned cities, ranging from 2015 up to 2020, which is pretty dense. For the first stage of the study, we will only pick specific columns that will relevant in constructing the epidemic forest. We need geographical data and the date of onset, or we abbreviate as DONSET. Other irrelevant yet of course important columns are left behind for this stage of study. To be noted that the Excel data is a clinical, meaning that they records every patients that visit the health facility and show symptoms of dengue. Hence, pre-processing the data is required. So we need to transform all the data from North Kota Batu like this, and we simply plot the dams into the heat map. In order to see our understanding about the heat map, let us see specific dynamic for Alameda, for example. You see this kind of daily cases of Alameda. The red dots are data, and the blue line represent the 30-day moving average. It is clearly shown that each outbreaks, you can see here and here, for example, the highest is represented in the heat map by period with yellowish color. You can see the right here. And if we again look at the overall heat map, we can see that more or less every outbreak occurs at the slightly same periods, giving us evidence that all cities are endemic to dengue. So we expect that we have the straight line with the same colors for all of the cities. But unfortunately, we can see this on this heat map data. So what we do, we implement the hierarchical clustering, provides better segregations among outbreaks. So I mean, we want to see the similar behavior will be positions close to each others. So yeah, kind of this. And we divide into some periods to see if we have any specific behavior. For example, we have 8 periods, you can see. The interesting things would be if we see different colors from blue to yellow. And by our naked eyes, we should agree that multiple outbreaks occurred during the observation data from 2050 up to 2020. We divide our original data into multiple periods of outbreaks. So we should exclude the period 1. Why? Because kind of similar color. Period 5, period 4, and also period 8. We only interesting in period 2, 3, 6, and also 7. Why? Because we can draw some kind of direct between, for example, in the period 6, we have this yellow that is very high dense. We have vertical line to the from for example Kidapawan city up to Pikit. We have lower cases for this preferential outbreak SIF. And and we raise the questions: can we extract the special pattern of how dengue spread? So we study for epidemic forest based on some papers. We have epidemics trees and also spatial dynamics in 2001, and then in 2009 they use it to spatial transmissions. Then several years in 2019, the concept of epidemic tree was generalized into forest ensemble of tree, and each tree does not have to be identical. So we use this one to explain the data from Philippines. The input should be individual level clinical set data on set date and also geographical in our cases, and the output forest-like directed graph representing spatial pattern of the disease. So I only have 5 minutes, more or less, yeah. So I will, we will up from node as an individual to city scale epidemic forest. This is an overview. For example, we have city A with some geographical information, longitude and longitude. We have also city B and C, and ages represent the social network D. And also we have the informations of infected in days. For example, city A infected at day 10, city C infected at day 27, and city B infected at day 31. So yeah, interestingly, you can have sense that city A will be the source of infection from city B and C. So the scheme, given a network, pick a random node, look at the connections and onset date to determine the parent. So if we have 10, 21, and 31, you can see that the city A should be the parents, right? But we want to extend our scenario more interesting using if we have city D as the infected day 1 and city E infected in day 5. So which one? So given a network, still given a network, pick a random node, look at the connection and the onset data. Before we just determine the parents, now we determine the candidates of the parents, define a quantity to determine the parents from chosen candidates. So we need some other informations. Let's say we have a spatial distance. We also have temporal distance, and we will decide the disease prevalence. I mean, spatial distance is if we pick A and the other two possible parents are both having the same onset, for example, we can see the temporal distance. So the if we have still the same temporal distance, we will move to the disease prevalence to see the informations of current infections. So the higher the prevalence, the stronger the possibility of transmissions. This is the algorithms. Okay. And we back to the data from the heat map of the numerical cases. So we expect to see bell-like curve. For example, the peak of the infection data or accumulations. If we deal with the accumulations curve, we will see the kind of onset date for each city. So we should be careful to define onset because we have different definitions in the sense of public health point of view. So based on some papers, we conclude that we want to find the infection point at the peak of the outbreaks, and this is the estimations. For example, onset equal to 45 means outbreak in one city start at 45 days from the reference time 0. And this is the results. You have we have 4 periods, period 2, period 3, period 6, and also 7. Size of the circles represents the population size, while the colors represents the onset dates. The darker the color, the earlier the outbreaks. And we can see that all periods result is consistent pattern for western and easterns of Kota Batu, always have earlier onset date compared to the regions in the center of Kota Batu. And we also have the same figure, but the color is now representing the cumulative case in each period. The special pattern of these accumulations cases is similar to the pattern found in the onset date. So, okay, I will skip this one, the method in a technical way. So this is the result of estimated epidemic forest. You can see the strong trend that cities with the higher cases are having earlier onset, meaning that burden cases or accumulative cases are infected significantly earlier compared to others. So you can see for this one, this start in Aleosan, and the second graph in Antipas, and also Makilalang. And the second, you can see this one starting from Pikawayan and Aleosan. This one for Banisilan, for example. Yeah, you can see the direct graph from for each nodes. Yeah, so in the each period, we have a kind of pattern where the disease start in each cities and how they move to other cities. And we still need to discuss deeply with the public health in Philippines, and this is still ongoing research, and we should communicate with this result and still initial result in our groups. Okay, now I will close with one advanced models. This is combined between a compartmental model using reaction diffusion, PDA, but we use diffusion model as Turing parameters. We combine with the real structures network with diarrhea data from Jakarta. So this is the diarrhea data in Jakarta at 2015. Each map show the dense of the prevalence of the diarrhea from January to December. And this is the network for 42 districts for Jakarta, and we introduce some kind of diffusions inhibitor reaction in the PDE, and we move to the SI model, and then each of our node in real structures Jakarta, we run this kind of compartmental model. So this is quite more heavy computations. We combine between network and also compartmental models. And we have epidemic arrival and peak times. This for Turing result. The epidemic arrival time can be defined as the time when an infected person is detected on a disease-free node. And this event can be identified when there is only one node which has been infected while the other nodes are free from the disease, and the infected node spreads the disease to the other disease after that. And we have scale-free network result like this, and real structures network like this. And the real structures network have a similar with the real data from diarrhea data in 2015. Yeah. And at last, this is the conclusions that studying disease transmission using reaction diffusions in network can be done to show the different perspective in understanding epidemic patterns through deterministic mathematical model. So we can combine the methods to have a better result, or yeah, hopefully it will be sound well for a public health point of view. And the one things that also important from disease transmissions is human mobility. So the mobility can be considered as a diffusion-like process in a fixed structure network. And our results show that the endemic equilibrium can yield patterns by tuning the mobility parameters of the infected compartment above the critical value. Okay, that's all I think about the network applications in the sense of infectious disease modeling transmissions. Thank you.
Okay,
Any questions?
thank you, Dr. Nuning, for giving such informative and interesting presentation. Now I will give change for one or two participants to ask direct to our speaker. Maybe Mr. Rian will ask directly to Dr. Nuning.
Okay. If the nodes in the network represents people, so the degree of each node vary over time. Yes. Hopefully we can cover that situations, but in the beginning of our study, we can fix the degree, because yeah, if the relations between nodes vary over time, you should deal with the high computation, yeah, because we can only, for example, one or two nodes, but at least 30 nodes or 50 nodes, or perhaps 100, thousands in an area of city, for example. So in the beginning of our study, we set as a constant degree, but yeah, should be extend to vary over time.
Thank you, Bu Nuning.
Okay?
Okay. Anyone? Oh, this is there is a question
Yeah.
from
Yes.
chat box.
I am curious, can we consider the case where the aids can join any number of nodes in your model? can we consider the case? Can we consider the case where the case can join in the membrane? I mean, can we apply the hypergraph as a generation? Oh, okay. Okay, this is quite a technical questions because in the sense of graph, I just deal with the node edges and also how we execute the relations among the nodes using the network setting up. For example, scale free, small world, also lattice, yeah. And sorry, I can answer you if it include the hypergraph, yeah, specifically generations of graph. Yeah, I can understand your question, but I don't have any competencies to answer your questions because it should be, I need the one who's struggling with, not struggling, who expert with this hypergraph. Sorry, Eva. Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. Anyone want to ask again to Dr. Nuning? Okay. Dr. Nuning, can I ask you one question?
Okay.
In Dengue model, how to determine the periods? Does the outbreak time affect the period in Dengue model?
Outbreaks. Sorry. Outbreaks.
Determine the periods.
Determine the periods of
Yes.
Dengue. The period of infections or the period of we should cut off our data.
Of infection.
Oh, the period of infections. Okay. The period of infections of dengue, because dengue caused by virus. So as far as I know, the period of infection should be vary between a week up to 4 weeks, but at the average, it should be 14 up to 15 days. So we should classify the dengue. We have dengue fever, we have dengue hemorrhagic fever, and we also have dengue subsidence. It depends on the virulence of the virus. But average, in average, the patients of dengue fever should be hospitalized in between 1 up to 2 weeks. Does that answer your questions?
In your slide is the period partition of 6, right? 6 periods of infection in the last dengue model.
In from epidemic forest result, you mean epidemic forest result?
Yeah.
Okay. We only divide this period based on the data. So you mean this one? Where is? Sorry. This one?
Oh,
is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We only divide, we just read the data. So we have in January 2015 up to 2020, and we see the behavior of the data, which one have the peak. In the period of 7, we have nice vertical line here in the yellow, almost yellow colors, this one, but we didn't see in other period. So I mean, we divide this period only based only the data, not the real infections for dengue transmissions.
Okay, it's clear for me. Yes. Okay, if no question again, we will close. Okay. Okay, unfortunately, our time is limited. For participants who want to ask more about the topic, you can contact her via email. Please give applause for our speaker, Dr. Nuning. Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Before we end this lecture, we will have a photo session. So to all participants, please open your camera. Maybe Miss Nadia can help us to capture the photo.
Okay, Mbak Dian. Wait a minute. So to all participants, I will take a picture. We have about 4 slides here, so make sure to hold on your smile until the end of slide. Okay, I will count the first slide. Please give the best smile, guys. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Okay, the second slide. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Okay, the third slide. 1, 2, 3. And the last slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Nadia. This is the end of the lecture today. Thank you again for Dr. Nuning, to all committees, especially Miss Nadia, Bu Prita, and also Pak Rudi. I apologize if I made mistake in moderating this lecture. And thank you for your attention. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We will have a closing ceremony soon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Fakultas Matematika dan Ilmu Pengetahuan Alam Institut Teknologi Bandung atau disingkat FMIPA ITB merupakan fakultas yang menyediakan program studi berakreditasi unggul dan terbaik di Indonesia bagi mereka yang ingin mendalami pengetahuan di bidang kimia, fisika, astronomi, dan matematika. FMIPA ITB merupakan yang tertua dan terdepan di Indonesia di bidang matematika dan ilmu pengetahuan alam dengan reputasi yang sudah diakui secara nasional dan internasional. Sebanyak 20 program studi yang ditawarkan terakreditasi A atau unggul oleh Badan Akreditasi Nasional Perguruan Tinggi. Dan keempat program studi di tingkat sarjana mendapatkan akreditasi bergengsi secara internasional. Setiap tahun, FMIPA ITB mendidik lebih dari 2.300 siswa, baik di tingkat sarjana, S2 maupun S3. Dalam memberikan pengajaran berkualitas, dosen-dosen FMIPA ITB didukung oleh 16 kelompok keilmuan yang aktif melakukan berbagai penelitian. Kelompok keilmuan astronomi bertujuan untuk mengembangkan ilmu astronomi, astrofisika, ilmu luar angkasa, dan ilmu lain yang berhubungan dengan astronomi. 6 kelompok keilmuan fisika aktif melakukan riset tentang bumi dan sistem kompleksnya, tentang material-material yang ada di alam dan pemanfaatannya, tentang material magnet dan fotonik serta pengembangannya, dan banyak lagi lainnya. Di bidang kimia, 4 kelompok keilmuan secara produktif mencari temuan-temuan baru untuk pengembangan, penerapan, dan penyebarluasan ilmu kimia, serta penyelesaian berbagai masalah yang berkaitan dengan kimia di masyarakat. Begitu juga dengan 5 kelompok keilmuan matematika, di mana para dosen di dalamnya mendukung proses pembelajaran matematika, serta pengembangan dan penerapan matematika di dunia modern saat ini melalui penelitian mereka. Proses pembelajaran dan kegiatan riset di FMIPA ITB didukung oleh fasilitas-fasilitas mumpuni yang dimiliki oleh fakultas. Observatorium Boscha merupakan observatorium modern tertua di Indonesia dan Asia Tenggara, sehingga memiliki peran yang sangat penting di dunia dalam pengamatan dan eksplorasi benda-benda angkasa. Laboratorium Fisika Terpadu dan Laboratorium Kimia Terpadu di FMIPA ITB memungkinkan para peneliti dari kelompok keilmuan yang berbeda-beda untuk dapat mengakses berbagai peralatan penelitian di satu lokasi saja, yaitu di masing-masing laboratorium terpadu tersebut. FMIPA ITB memiliki deretan kontribusi nyata dalam memajukan ilmu pengetahuan yang dinikmati oleh mahasiswa, masyarakat, dan juga industri. Bagi mahasiswa, komitmen FMIPA ITB dalam mendukung mahasiswa memaksimalkan kompetensi ternyatakan melalui upaya untuk secara rutin mengirimkan mahasiswa ke ajang kompetisi internasional yang sangat bergengsi seperti Olimpiade Matematika.
FMIPA ITB memfasilitasi mahasiswa FMIPA untuk berkompetisi pada tingkat nasional maupun internasional. Fasilitas yang disediakan berupa pembinaan dan akomodasi yang meliputi biaya maupun tempat pelaksanaan. Pada tahun 2021, FMIPA mengirimkan 5 mahasiswa pada kompetisi matematika internasional IMC 2021 dan berhasil mendapatkan 2 emas, 2 perak, dan 1 honorable mention.
Bagi masyarakat, lewat kelompok-kelompok keilmuan, dosen dan staf FMIPA ITB giat menjalankan pengabdian masyarakat yang sangat membanggakan fakultas.
Observatorium Boscha bersama dengan program studi dan kelompok keahlian astronomi di FMIPA ITB mengupayakan agar konsep-konsep dasar sains yang berkenaan dengan astronomi itu dapat menjadi bagian dari hidup masyarakat yang terintegrasi. Observatorium Boscha dengan dukungan FMIPA bekerja sama dengan banyak pihak, bisa NGO, bisa industri, bisa korporasi. Jadi ada banyak yang bekerja sama mendukung program pendidikan astronomi dan menyediakan sumber belajar yang tidak ada batasnya. Karena peran Observatorium Boscha dan astronomi di ITB di bawah FMIPA ini ada banyak sekali yang berhubungan langsung dengan masyarakat. Umpamanya saja pengamatan bulan baru, hilal, bagaimana hari-hari penting itu ditentukan. Banyak sekali kontribusi dari Observatorium Boscha.
Kami telah banyak kerjasama dengan berbagai instansi pemerintah pusat dan daerah, pihak swasta dan industri di dalam maupun luar negeri untuk
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. My voice is still cracky. So, how are you?
Well, I'm really.
Are you good?
Good, yeah.
Okay, nice. So, hello, everyone. All participants, thank you so much. You're still here until the end of the session of this whole event. And I hope that you guys still remember us. I'm Kamal, and my partner is here, Fitri. And previously we met at the opening ceremony 2 weeks ago. But now we have just finished the 11th lecture from Dr. Nuning Nuraini. And this is the time for the closing ceremony. Time flies so fast, right, Fitri?
Yeah, really, it's really fast. Actually, we have been together for 10 days, right? And then with 11 interesting lectures and also with 11 marvelous speakers. So that's very amazing journey. So before we start the closing ceremony, let us appreciate the journey we have been through together. Okay, also some of our marvelous speakers are here among us right now in this meeting. So I would say thank you to all of you for coming to this closing ceremony. Okay, so what's next, Kamal?
Okay, I think we are going to have a really exciting agenda today, Fitri. And the agenda is quite a bit different to what we have done these several days, since this should be the last day of the whole series of this event. So I guess for the next 1 hour, we will be more casual and less serious. And roughly, we really want to know about the feeling of the people joining this session. And also, we would love to have some of you telling us your impressions on joining this event in general. And lastly, we will have an appreciation video intended to all marvelous speakers and participants. And also, we will have the closing statement from the head of the undergraduate program in mathematics ITB, Dr. Ibu Nuning Nuraini.
Okay, so that will be a very interesting agenda. So after all of us attending 11 lectures for several days in this event, I think it would be very good if we could check your knowledge through a quiz, right, Kamal?
Wow, quiz,
So,
okay.
yeah, we will have a quiz, a final quiz. So, yeah, please be panic. No, prepare yourself. Especially, I will recommend you to prepare your gadget. Maybe you can use your smartphone or any tablet. And also, maybe you can prepare your notes during all the lecture sessions, because now we will test how far your ability is. Oh my God.
Wow.
we will use an online platform. Okay, I will share my screen.
Okay, I think you're joking, yeah? We're not going to have a really serious quiz, but this is a Kahoot game time.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a game. Okay, so you can share your screen now, Fitri.
Yeah, wait a
Okay.
minute.
Okay, while we're waiting, I think simply we are going to have a game right now. This is a website-based quiz showing you several questions that we have provided, and you need to answer those questions in a minimal time. And then the faster you pick the answer, the higher the score you will get. And don't panic, just take it easy. I promise the questions will be super easy.
Okay, yeah. So to join the quiz, yeah, I think you can see my screen now. To join the quiz, please visit this one, www.kahoot.it. So KAHOONT in your browser. Maybe, I recommend you to use your smartphone other than your laptop. Maybe you use laptop for this Zoom meeting, and please use the other gadget maybe. And then after that, you can enter this game pin 116963 and 9 as the game pin of this game. And then you can type your nickname like this. Okay, you can use your first name, your last name, your initial name. You can use your pet's name maybe, or maybe your boyfriend or girlfriend's name. And I think just put your name, and then after you put your name, don't forget to click the OK Go button. So we have several players here.
Okay, it's still 13.
We'll
small
wait,
fraction. We have to wait, Okay, and please make sure that your name is shown on the screen, guys. And we will wait for about 3 minutes, Fitri. Okay. So we have Nura, nice.
Oh, good,
Aaron,
good.
Eugene, 10. Anonymous kid, wow. Okay. Okay, 20, 21.
Maulana, Feb. Okay. Maybe if the committee or also the speakers want to join, we are really welcome you to join this game. It would be very interesting, right?
Can I join? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so while we're waiting, I will try to explain a little bit detail on how we play the game. So later on the game session, the question and answer choices will pop up in your screen, in your phone actually, whereas then you can choose the answer right in your handphone. So the questions and then the answer choices will be shown on the screen on the Zoom meetings, while you have to answer, or you have to put the answer on your gadget, on your phone, your PC, or the device. Okay, I think that you've get this already. Okay.
Okay.
27.
28. Okay, we will wait for the other participants to join this game.
And also, we actually love to see your face. If you could open your camera so that we can see your reactions. Come on, join.
Okay, 28, 29, 30. In this Zoom meeting, I think there are 77 participants. So
77.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is less than a half from 77, 32. So we will wait for maybe 2 minutes, right? One or 2 minutes. Okay. Or should we request to Dr. Prita to put this score in the final grade? Come on. So all the participants will join.
Our views. Okay. Okay, I hope that you're excited enough, because we will have 8 questions, and the questions are pretty much simple, yet refreshing, I hope.
Okay, Fatima, GWY, Diana. Okay. So 35 participants, come on.
Yeah, 35.
All of you must join this last quiz, last game, I mean, the first and the last game.
Okay, wow, lots of people are opening their camera. Thank you so much. Hello there. Hi, Siti. You're waving hands to us. Hello, Hira. Hira, have you joined the game? Have. Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Have you joined the game, Hira? You're not joining? Why, Hira? Okay, that's okay.
Okay, I think
Okay, the time's up.
time is up. Mhm. Okay, guys. So we will start the game. I will touch this start button. So prepare yourself. Please also take your attention to the screen, the Zoom screen, and also your gadget. Okay. So the wait is over. We will play the game in 1, 2, and 3. Start the final quiz. Okay, let's see. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the first question. Institut Teknologi Bandung is located in. Okay. Oh, it's really hard. Oh no.
It's really hard.
Okay, let's see. 25 answers. Indonesia, it's Java, Singapore, Earth. Oh, Earth. Indonesia.
On Earth. Wow.
Okay. Oh. Okay, 24 participants are answer wrong. Yeah, the answer should be Earth because Indonesia there are 2 A here. So the answer is maybe the good answer maybe is Earth. Yeah. So it's just one participant. Oh, okay.
Oh wow, I'm the one that tricked, I thought it was Indonesia with single A.
Oh, yeah. And it's Java, it should be West Java, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see the scoreboard. Res.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
RES leads the
Let's
game.
see the next question. Who is the 8th speaker's name? Oh my god. There's a clue here.
That?
I think this is an online platform for design, right? Canva. Maybe this is the clue, come out for.
Oh, that's a clue.
For the answer of this question. Professor Aditri Baskoro, Muhtadi Intan Alamsyah. Oh, good. John Vincent Morales, PhD. Yeah, right.
So what's the relation with the Canva?
Yeah, if the participant remember, John Vincent Morales, PhD, was using Canva for his
nice
presentation. So it's very interesting because it is a bit rare in mathematics, right, to using Canva. Okay,
Nice.
let's see. Oh, still RES leading this game. Okay, let's see the next question. This event is not a collaboration with the following universities except. Oh my god. It's not
the question
a
is so
collaboration.
confusing,
It's like inverse and then you inverse again this sentence, right?
Yeah.
Teknologi Bandung. So yeah, okay. Oh great. Yeah, Wilfrid Laurier University, yeah. For this one is Tokohu, not Tohoku, yeah. And then Nanyang Technological University should be. Okay, let's see. Oh, RES still lead this game. Oh,
nice,
great,
Rahmat.
great. 10, Aaron, ES, and D. And then the fourth question. When was the opening ceremony of International Virtual Course 2022 held? Oh my god. Do you still remember, Kamal?
Yeah, of course, but I'm looking for some typos because you are so tricky. Your questions are so tricky.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. August 6, August 7, after the first lecture, before the closing ceremony. Oh, great.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, great. Before the closing ceremony. It's actually held on August 5. Okay. Let's see the scoreboard. Yes, no.
Oh. Where are you, Rahmat? RES. Okay.
Next question.
Okay, so this is the next question. Today's date is not September 16, 2020. Is it true or false? Oh, so confusing, guys. Come on.
Is it true or false?
Today's date is not September 16, 2020. You sure about that? Check your answer again before submitting. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I don't think that is significant, like if you compare the mean 23 and 14,
Yeah.
like almost
Yeah.
50% of you are fooled. Nice.
Okay, combo
Okay.
breaker. Okay. Let's see again. The next
Okay, the
question.
next question. There are so many cute cats. All of the cats are so adorable. How many cat tails are shown in the picture?
Oh my god.
Okay, how many cat tails are shown in the picture?
Let's
Please
see.
look it carefully.
Cats, yeah. I really love cats actually.
I do. We do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so how many
Eight,
tails are shown?
2, 3. Oh, great.
Nice.
2. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Two. There are 2 tails shown in the cat
Can we
in the
see?
picture.
Oh no, D
No,
is
D
leading.
leads the game. Nice. D. Okay, let's next look at the picture. Okay, look at the picture.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. So
Oh.
yeah, just read that question and answer as fast as you can.
Oh my god. I
Wow,
don't
what
know.
is this, Fit?
Consider the directed graph above. Oh my god. I can see this. Oh, great.
Oh, nice. I like this. Okay, you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
You can
the
choose
question-
relevant information, Fit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The question
Okay.
is in the last sentence, yeah, actually.
Okay.
Combinatorics perspective.
Okay, and we are coming to the last question. This is the 8th question.
Okay,
So please
prepare
show the
yourself.
question.
Okay.
Okay. This international virtual course is an amazing event. I love it so
Wow.
much. Okay.
Oh my
Are
god. come
those
on.
true or false? You can choose.
Really fun.
Really? What about you, Fit?
Should I answer false?
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
great.
Okay.
Participant answer false. Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay, let's see the podium. Okay, we have FM in the 3rd place. D, oh, congratulations. And the 1st place is ES.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
great.
Congratulations.
And then runner-up for the 4th place is Aaron. Okay, great, great. ES, who is ES? I will stop share
So
my
who's
screen.
ES?
Okay.
ES, please show up.
Mhm.
Hello. Oh, Unique Setiawan. Unique Setiawan. Hello, Unique.
Oh,
Nice. Congratulations.
congratulations.
The gift is a standing
Great,
ovation.
great. Okay. Yeah, so what's next? Yeah, the winner is Unique. Congratulations. So thank you so much. That's very interesting game. So much fun. Thank you for joining the game. I hope it could refresh our minds after joining the whole event of this international virtual course. Okay, so after this, actually, we would like to have several participants to share their impressions of this event. So first of all, we would like to invite Maulana Abdul Aziz from Institut Teknologi Bandung, Indonesia to express his feeling after joining this event. So to Maulana, are you ready? Can you?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. So the time is yours then.
First of all, I'm so sorry I cannot turn on my camera because my connection here is quite bad actually. Okay, then I'm gonna share my experiences for following this international virtual course. First of all, currently I'm in my 3rd year on Institut Teknologi Bandung, and honestly, following this really widen my perspective to combinatorics, because not only I learn in the theory, but I also learn some of it in real world. That, not about most of the lectures here I haven't learned in college, so Actually, this really increasing my knowledge. So I think that's all. And one of the most exciting lectures for me is from Professor Ilyas Patserias from Thursday, September 15, about symbolic computation and combinatorial designs using high frequency. I think that's all from me.
Okay, thank you so much, Maulana.
Okay, again, thank you so much, Maulana, for giving us your impressions, and we're really happy to hear that you're also happy joining this event. Okay, nice. And also we have other participants. I would like to invite Mr. Aaron Pagay from the Philippines. Hello, Aaron, are you ready?
Am I audible?
Of course, audible enough.
Okay. Oh, first of all,
you can start.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank the committee, the organizers of this event. It was a successful event. Okay. So as a PhD student in the Philippines, attending conferences is actually a must. So the IVC is one of the conferences that I've been looking up to attend. And to be honest, IVC is not that well known in our country. But upon attending IVC, I can say that I will highly recommend it to my colleagues and friends. Okay, so IVC opens a lot of topics, a variety of topics that a researcher may be interested to. Even though those are just introductions, it's the researcher's job to further dig on that certain topic. So one of the topic that has been a great interest to me is the collaboration with the coding and design theory by Dr. Morales. Okay. So it's actually good to know that those two theories comes hand in hand. And another one is by Dr. Nuning, the last lecture. It's actually timely and relevant to us. Also, the interaction between the lecturer and the students or the participants is one of the things that made IVC more interesting. Also, the collaborations between the participants for the project is a good practice for future researchers. And with all those things, I can say whenever there is an IVC, I would gladly attend the conference. And thank you again for giving us a wonderful conference.
Okay, nice. Thank you again. Thank you too for Aaron, for participating this event. I hope that you get things that you want to get, and good luck for your PhD. Nice. Okay, and then for the next participant, I would like to invite Mr. Homer Franz de Vera from the Philippines. Hello, Mr. Homer.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah. You're audible. Okay.
Hello. Yeah. Thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Homer, PhD student from the University of the Philippines. This international virtual course in combinatorics offered by ITP these past 2 weeks have been a great experience for me. It was a great opportunity to learn and directly hear from experts and ask questions in various topics related to combinatorics. And then the variety of topics was very helpful. We learned about introductions to different theories and different applications, giving us at least a taste of different flavors in combinatorics, introducing us to a wide array of options where we could possibly contribute if we choose to do research in these fields. I also met new friends in this virtual course, my group mates who I'm working together with for a short fun project in combinatorics given by Dr. Saputro. It's nice that we also get to do an activity like this. It's honestly amazing how people around the world can learn so much from these classes, from the comfort of our own homes. The programs are well organized, so congratulations to the organizers, and thank you for the opportunity to be a participant in this international virtual course. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Homer. That's really wonderful. Yeah, also good luck for your PhD. Oh.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we would like to invite a sibling. We would like to invite Nur Fatima and Mukdas Fatima from Pakistan. Okay, so Nur and Mukdas, can you hear me? Are you ready?
Yes. First of all, sorry, I can't able to open my camera due to connectivity issue.
Yeah. So the time is yours.
Closing ceremony of IVC 2022. The course was very interesting and informative. I learned a lot from it, and the course taught me a lot of techniques in searching information for my academic research. Now, thank you all speakers and IVC team. Thank you so much. That's all from my side.
Okay, so great. That's really wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much, Nur and Mukdes, and also all participants. We are very happy, very happy to hear so much positive things from the participants you got from this event. It's really nice. So even though this event is only held virtually, we hope it doesn't reduce the benefits of this event, of this program to all participants. Okay, so what's next? Yeah, actually we have learned so many things together, right, in this event during 10 days, these 10 days, especially in the field of graph theory and also its application. And all those things cannot be separated from the role of all of our speakers, the organizing committee, and also, of course, all of you, all the participants. So we have prepared a special video to remind you what we have been through together. So let's watch it together. Okay, I think the audio is haven't.
I'm sorry, this is my bad. Thank you for
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. The audio share.
We're falling even deeper, it's getting steeper. Our days be bright again. Believing we'll be stronger, together greater. I'm ready to trust again.
And then also welcome to all our honorable lecturers.
Okay. Okay, so
Can you hear me?
yes, of course.
Thank you, Faisal, for the introduction. I'm feeling
Okay.
Yurika, thank you for the invitation. Good afternoon.
For every line in your system,
in this line.
Now you know it's just the two of us. I know lately I've been hard to trust. If I fall now, I won't fall out. I'm not worried, my tiwala, and there's no doubt.
Here to that neuron. So wait.
3 blocks. Similarly, the
of how this
So I will introduce.
Trust again. I'm ready to trust again. Believe that we'll be stronger, together greater. We'll never fall again. Beginning
So neural network are layers.
So, as was introduced before, my name is Renova Simanjuntak. So, let's visualize the change, yeah?
This must implies with the comma.
True. What?
Special case regarding network application in the area of infectious disease.
2 minus x squared divided by 1 minus d.
Okay. Oh, it's heartwarming. Once again, thank you so much to all speakers and also all the participants. Great. Let us give applause for all of us.
Okay, so I think we have came to the end of this event. As the head of the undergraduate program in mathematics ITB, we would like to invite Dr. Nuning Nuraini to deliver her closing speech and officially close the event. So, Ibu Nuning, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Kamal, and also Fitri for the nice guide for this closing ceremony. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. Dear honorable speakers and also all the participants, this international virtual course is successfully concluded. It is our ambitions to continue these traditions into the futures. It was fascinating watching all of your great efforts during transition from pandemic to post-pandemic time. It is an excellent opportunity for us to challenge ourselves and put in a strong fighting spirit. Today, I appreciate all speakers, Professor Akihiro Munemasa from Japan, Professor Iliad Gutierrez from Canada, Gary Chris, PhD from Singapore, John Vincent Morales from Philippines, Professor Editri Baskoro, Dr. Hilda Asyatun, Dr. Inovia Simanjuntak, Dr. Muhtadi Intan Detiana, Dr. Sabto Wahyu Indratno, and also Dr. Suhadi Widosaputro from ITB. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. However, none of this could have been possible without our great organizing committee led by Dr. Prita and also Dr. Rudy and Dr. Nofri, Kamal, Devi, and all of the moderators and the teams. They have put in days of hard work preparing for this event. They did everything from arranging the event, scheduling, monitoring, evaluating, and so on. Thank you for all the excellent work. Due to everyone's effort and participation, it has been an unforgettable experiences, and I hope everyone takes away some beautiful memories. Success is about how you carry out the process. You will always take it with you as you move forward in life. Finally, thank you all again, and may you be blessed with happiness and joy. Stay safe and God bless. And as a closing, I will share, as usual, I will share my video, just short video to close this event. Okay. Can you see it? No? Sorry. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for all of you. I hope we can meet shortly in the future. Thank you. Good afternoon, and I will close with Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you so much, Ibu Nuning, for the closing statement and also closing video. Thank you. And lastly, before we end the session, we will going to have a very last photo session. So I would like to invite all of you to open your camera if it's possible, and we are going to have the very last photo session. Okay, Fitri, would you like to help me?
Yes,
Taking the picture? Okay.
Maybe we have to wait for 1 minute.
Yeah, of course.
So please open again your camera. If it is possible, you can use the virtual background we have made for this event. Okay.
Yeah, almost 50% has opened their camera, Fitri.
Okay. Okay. Maybe we start now to take the picture, yeah? So please prepare your best smile because this is the last photo session. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay. There are 3 slides here. So again, 1, 2, and 3, cheese. Okay, lastly, the last slide. Wait. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Cheers. Great. Thank you so much.
Nice. Thank you so much. And once again, after the photo session, we have a very important announcement related to the quiz. Okay. So I should say about the quiz. Okay, so I should say that the event has come to an end, and the IVC has been officially closed. But after this ceremony, you will have a quiz, and this one is the real quiz, not just the Kahoot game. Okay, and the quiz will be available in www.sipendi.fmipa.itb.ac.id, or Fitri will try to write it down on the chat column. And there are several points that you have to pay attention to. The first one, the quiz is available from 2 UTC plus 7 from Friday, September 16 until 20 on Saturday, September 17. And then the participant can access the quiz during this time. And then second, the quiz contains of 12 questions, the type of true or false, and then multiple choices. And also the durations of the quiz is 2 hours, which means that once the participants open the quiz, it should be finished in 2 hours. Okay, and then next.
Okay, and then the fourth point, the students have 2 attempts. So you have 2 attempts to answer the quiz, and the final quiz grade is obtained from the highest score among those 2 attempts. So you have 2 attempts, and we will take the highest score, yeah, the highest score. And then lastly, students may open their notes, books, or slide, and also video, yeah. Okay, so that's all. Good luck for the quiz, for the real quiz. So you have to be prepared. And lastly, we really hope that this event can broaden your mind in viewing mathematics and apply mathematics to solve the real life problem.
Okay, I'm Kamal and my partner Fitri. Stay safe, everyone.
And see you in the next occasion.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Mm.